There's a dream I had in 2017, and I really just kept it to myself until I saw how things were unfolding here in America. And I felt led to actually make a video for it and upload it. And I uploaded it the first time in February 2019 and just edited some and shortened it a bit and re-uploading it now. So
for the
check
nations.
it out.
As a small background story, I went on a fast for 7 days, 12 hours each day. I usually set times where I fast and set devotions to draw closer to Father's heart through Lord Yeshua. And during intercession, Holy Spirit led me to pray for America, the president, and the Church of Jesus Christ. The intensity of my prayer changed all of a sudden to a heavy burden for America. It turned to a Romans 8:26 type of prayer. I was crying for mercy, for grace, forgiveness, repenting for all the sins that America was in, for all the things that the Holy Spirit was basically bringing to my mind. Things like turning away from the one true God, abortion, legislation that violated Father's word, violence and secret sins of the church, the hypocrisy and lack of love among believers in the church. I prayed through the entire night watch. And so by sunrise, around 7-ish, I just thought I'll just lie down for a couple hours before I get my daily routine started. And as soon as I laid down, I went into this dream. It's one of those dreams where you wake up and you realize it wasn't real. And you even thank God that it wasn't real because of the intense emotions that were involved. So in this dream, the setting is where a group of people and myself were on a beach shoreline, and everyone's attention went to the sky. And we start to see these columns falling from the sky and landing consecutively next to each other. The columns just continue to fall from the sky out of nowhere, right in front of us. This thing is literally blocking the sunlight from reaching the ground level where we're at. The sun was only available to shine through these little archway blocks that were on the top portion of the blocks, the columns that were falling. Everyone's focus was in shock and amazement on these columns as they fell from the sky. No one was saying one word. The columns, they were so high and they were so thick, massive in size. It's at this point that darkness fell, midday. I'm saying everything on ground level, it was as if it was evening. You needed another light source to see your way around. The sun that was still up in the sky was only able to come through those high columns, archways that were on top of the columns. And again, I thought to myself, wow, these columns are blocking off America. I'm just remembering the shoreline, and I'm thinking, how can anyone go onto the sea from here? Because of how tall and massive these columns were. It's like no one could leave, or matter of fact, even come in. Everyone began to take a closer look at these columns to see what exactly are they made of. Still thinking about how they just fell from the sky like that. And reality began to grip everyone's face about the fact that these columns blocked off America in a way. And everyone started mumbling in shock and disbelief, just saying words like, what is this? What's going on? What does this mean? Where is this coming from? And at that specific time, I was thinking out loud, oh no, this is America? Is this what America has become? Is this how it's going to be from now on? Those are the words I was thinking out loud. I also noticed the wall had small black cameras installed at different positions along the wall. It was quickly obvious that everyone was being monitored, surveillanced. And so we kept looking around, moving from here to there along the wall. And then everyone was hearing this recording, which we soon realized it was on loop. It was repeating itself. And I took notice and started focusing on my hearing and what was being announced. And the overhead announcement was a pre-recording of a computerized woman's voice. And this is what I heard. We asked you to get rid of all your banks, and you think you have, but you have yet to get rid of all of them. This was the phrase that the woman kept repeating. And then as she said that, this long hologram just popped out from the wall, and everyone can see the current status of the land and how compliant everyone was with what was expected of them as far as the new instructions and rules. And it even showed the locations of the banks that she was mentioning. And so as we looked at this report, the impression was, well, who is this new establishment? Where are they coming from? And why are they here? And I thought to myself, this isn't life as usual. Just looking around and hearing what the recording was saying, what was expected of us, that's what I thought to myself. This is not life as usual. We're under siege. There isn't any self-autonomy anymore. We're under a new and very type of leadership. I wasn't sure what nation and what group of people were in control at this point. I started to walk along the wall to take a closer look at the hologram and to see what the report was asking very specific things. And it's at this point I realized to my right someone was walking along with me. I didn't see the person's face, but I had the impression that this individual was around my age and had a pleasant and friendly, peaceful nature about him. And he said this statement as I continued to look at the wall and look at the hologram report. And he said this. He said, see, they are monitoring everyone's activities. They are aware of every and anyone who walks up to the wall. They know exactly the section of the wall where you're at right now and exactly what part of the report you are reading. And you will be held accountable for it. And so from previous dream experiences, once I woke up, I realized that this was the Holy Spirit that has said that statement that I couldn't see, but I knew he was near me. And so I was shocked. And I remember I took a step back. I looked up to see how far up the massive wall went. And just trying to look up, I almost fell back. That's how tall the columns were. And to my amazement, I couldn't believe my eyes. Looking up, I saw countless amount of people climbing the wall, looking for a way to escape. These people were climbing, trying to escape because they understood that this was not life as usual anymore. Their life was going to change. There were things expected that they really didn't want to have to follow. They didn't want to be under that. People were panicking. They were climbing each other. It was like a stampede, only this was in climbing mode. And each person was trying to see if they could find a way out the small arches that were all the way up on the columns where the sunlight was trying to come through. And I was thinking, these people are crazy. How can they fit through that small arch? There's no way they could fit. A human body cannot fit through that small arch. It was just enough for some sunlight to come through. There was no way of escape. And so I woke up and I realized I was just coming out of a dream. My heart was pounding. And the last thought that came to my mind before I opened my eyes was, this is the new America. I did immediately start praying, seeking interpretation from the Holy Spirit concerning the dream. And I did receive some understanding as the Lord just continued to reveal layer by layer. After I had this dream in 2017, the news updates concerning the border wall project and seeing the images of the migrants from the south approaching the border wall, trying to climb the border wall, it had me in shock because I'm thinking, wow, this is very similar details of what I had in my dream. There are two major points of the dream that the Holy Spirit kept bringing to my mind that I really didn't want to face. I really didn't want to think of it because I knew these things had yet to come, and it was a warning. And this is the warning that everyone needs to know. There will be new rules and regulations that people will be expected to follow, all the while under surveillance. Yes, these things are to come. And the Holy Spirit highlighted the last part of the dream that I seen before waking. And he said very simply, the people were climbing, trying to leave America, not come in. What you see unfolding now in America is just the beginning of a greater reality. This dream is more than about the border wall. It's more than an immigration issue. And the more has a starting connection with an event that took place August 21st, 2017. The total solar eclipse. I'll continue with part 2 of this connection in another video.